So, hi. Hi. This is Lakshay, and now out of this very heavy schedule and what you call this as very tedious schedule, I'm able to get some time out. And you know, I got a lot of things via my personal mail. A lot of things I got around, and one of these was about this article which I wrote. So, this was I had also even posted it on LinkedIn. So this is my personal blog. I will post it the link in the description so you could go across that, just rover across that. So there is this singer Guru Nazar Chattha, and uh, I'm actually a little skeptical about the spelling, so please excuse me. But whatever I'm able to spell, I'm sorry if I'm not able to spell his name in the right way. I'm apologies for that uh, preemptly itself. But so let's assume that there is a singer Gurnazar. So he had this song, and the song was Dost Banke. So I came across this song and I wrote this opinion piece. So this was the opinion piece which I wrote, and the same with the same opinion piece, I even sent a mail, as you could see over here, to Gurnazar, and actually this has been produced by EYP Creations. So whatever I got from EYP Creations, like whatever after the due diligence, whatever I could get to know, like what's the team, what's the coordination, what's the things. So I did them. So if we understand the chronology of events, I was in Delhi, I was doing my vacations, and I got across this song. I got I in turn didn't get the sort of vibes which were ready with the song, and thereby I wrote this blog. One day later, I wrote the mail as well as for clarification from the song team, so that I could get to know what's their side of the story. And I'm not doing any sort of judgment. Who am I to create a heteronormative judgment? So that's why I'm saying that this is my personal opinion. Even if you see, when I rover back over here, I have written over here that this has been sent to the team as well as the production studio. Similarly, I have wrote over there that views expressed are my personal views. And most importantly, now many people have in turn commented a lot, and many people have personally requested me to do a breakdown of the song. Like, why is that I find this song very problematic? So what we will do is that we'll just go and just rover off to the song. Actually, I'm doing this as a part of the series of breakdown of songs, because I feel, if you see, the typical art portrays the society. Like, there's a very famous quote that if you want to see, like, what is the current socio what is the current, like, environment, what is the current creative potential of a society, or what are the issues where the society currently revolves around, just go and check the environment, the art and culture of the society. And how could you check that around? This is by these songs, the content that goes around. So I'm going across a lot of content which you could obviously see on the screen. A lot of content which is misogynist, a lot of content which is communal, a lot of content which is full of hatred and other things. So actually, consuming good content is very essential for our brain as well as. Thereby, I'm emphasizing that these songs, which are in turn meant to capitalize certain part of the brain, which is driven by certain emotions due to their production strategy, due to their business acumen, or whatever we stand out, is certainly harming us in a rather certain way. We go to the cognitive psychology, it's harming us in a way, and that's what I'm doing. So we will search out for this song. So yes, this is the song. So you could see YouTube survey. Okay, and before I go ahead, so this is the song. So up till now it has clocked around, if we see, up till now I'm saying, up till now, if we just combine it, we see how much it is. It has clocked around, if I have to be very honest, more than 5 crore views, and it still acquires like, it still acquires a rank in the list. If you see over here, it's like the 57th top music video. So first of all, what we will do is we will understand their side of the story. We'll give justice to the to the production, we'll just understand who has done, what has been done, and what's the standard procedure. Whenever we go ahead with the question, whenever we go ahead with a breakdown, I've seen a lot of breakdown videos over a period of time. What they miss out is that they jump to the conclusion, but we will not do that. We'll first understand few basic standard questions. That becomes very relevant when we are analyzing anything. The first question that comes into streamline or mainline thought is, what's the perspective of the production? Second, if the perspective is problematic, why is it problematic? Third, what's the perspective of production from a consumerist point of view, or simply from a business point of view? Fourth, who has produced this content? And fifth, what are the problems with this content? Sixth, what can be the solutions to such problematic content, except from the very fact that we refuse to watch this content. However, as harsh or as crude it may sound that we refuse to watch this content, this can be largely ineffective, because you see, ultimately there's someone besides you who is going to watch this content. There's someone who is going to watch it anyways. There's, even if it's problematic, then it also acquires some sort of publicity. Being problematic, being conflicting is the new synonym of being famous today. And I again repeat that this populist notion, we need to discard that. Everything that is popular, everything that is famous doesn't necessarily mean that it also has to do certain thing with the standard of goodness. Also, goodness can be very subjective. But if we see from a very general point of view that the song is encouraging sexist remarks, the song is encouraging a pessimistic view, the song is encouraging societal ills, the song is encouraging misogyny. So if we assume them to be an idols of going against the very goodness, against the very standard set in the society, that this should not be done, then we ought to know that everything that is famous doesn't conform to these standards, and we certainly need to realize that. So first of all, we will read the description. I will just dictate it as it's over here. Introducing the biggest song of Gur Nazar live. So he might be some concert singer, or he might be a very famous singer, but prior to this song, I had no knowledge of Gur Nazar, honestly speaking. And I'm not saying that he might not have made good songs. I'm not saying that he's not a good singer. He can be a very good artist, and he might be a very good artist. He might be brilliant as a singer, but I don't have any problem with Gur Nazar personally. I respect his passion for music. I respect music as art. What I have problem is typically with the song. And there it comes, takes me to the core and to the main argument of what I'm emphasizing around. Let me just check. Yeah, so what I was basically focusing about, there was some problem from the support team side, that this artist can be a very good person, can be a very good human, but you have to separate his production, you have to separate his work from him and then analyze it. His work and his personality are not synonymous. So please don't go out and spit your don't go out and just spit your hatred, or just don't go out and be very spit your venom out with the person, because a person and his works can be different. A person and his output can be relatively different. This can be influenced by a lot of factors, which we'll be talking about when we do the breakdown in upcoming videos, as well as while I will be talking side by side while doing the breakdown. So we have the song over here. So this song explores heartbreak. So now this term heartbreak, so heartbreak, a very Gen Z term, like heartbreak, to be honestly biologically incorrect, but see, it's again art, cinematic liberty we call it as. So heartbreak means like you might fall in love with someone, and due to certain conditions, due to certain behavior, due to certain notions, or due to certain circumstances, that person might leave you, or that person might, now people leave each other. This happens in very healthy relationships too. People often leave each other, but that's which happens mutually. But heartbreak, going by the very conventional definition, is when this thing doesn't happen mutually, or when this thing is influenced by extraneous factors which doesn't hold relevance, or factors which have external actors, external forces, a role to play. And I cannot go much more into this. And lost love with powerful lyrics. Now, lost love, the concept of lost love. Now, if we go into very idealist debates, can there be any sort of love which is lost? Like, can love be lost? Is love something material, like you have it in your hand and it's lost? Or is love beyond material considerations? Is it beyond materialistic conception? Love is beyond having someone with you round the clock. Love can also be someone with someone else, provided that that person might be happy. Is there a difference between love and what we call as attachment or obsession? Is there a typical difference between obsession and love? These are typical questions which should come into your mind as you go through this description. I am able to explore this question because I am very critically analyzing this. However simply it may be written, you need to read in between the lines. There is a very famous phrase again which goes in Hindi कि कविता जो होती है वह पंक्तियों में नहीं होती. That the poem, it doesn't lie in the lines. The poem lies in between the lines. So that's the play, word play eventually. Listen to this. So it's powerful lyrics. Now I don't understand what makes lyrics powerful. So what are powerful lyrics? Is it something like the lyrics might have certain type of content that makes it powerful? What's the standard that you can call certain type of lyrics as powerful? Is it like the lyrics might be intellectually very powerful, might have very good vocabulary, or the lyrics might have you could say some sort of like they could have some boost off, so you could call them as very powerful? Or so like what is the typical standard that you could call any set of lyrics as powerful? And then it is said soulful vocals. Based on this lyrics, there is vocal that will appeal to your soul. So this has been described to as 2024's epic song, something that's very sagacious. So that's the thing. And a famous singer, Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, he's a legend if we see in a musical industry. And again I am saying, a person can be a very good singer, a person can be a very good artist. Certain of his works can be problematic in respect of certain people. I can find it problematic. For certain other people, it might not be problematic. But I find adequate freedom of expression in saying so on YouTube. And thereby, I am just bringing this out so that I think I am able to just point out my content, I am able to share it with multiple people, and I may even find a community of people who might subscribe to my view or who might not subscribe to my view as well as. But what's more important is delving into an argument. These are everything, this is everything, these are the lyrics. We'll go to the lyrics, okay? So we will go to the lyrics. We will also go to the lyrics. Okay, let's go. Let's start with this song. Just a minute. So we have something with the sound coming in. Okay, we will go with the sound.
Please.
Okay. Let's. So the song started. Let me go back. The song started. Okay, we'll go back again. This is this EYP Productions. The song started, and let's take a pause. you could see the girl is in a very anxious state and deeply perplexed. That makes it a very good start from a very cinematic point of view. Like, I have also worked in theater, so this makes it a very good start. Like, it's a very good start where you have given the, I will say, the person who is consuming the content for some time will assume that a person A is consuming the content for the ease of exploring the views. So if person A is like consuming this content for the initial time when you have given person A that you don't know what is about to happen, there's a person who is sitting in the restaurant, then there's a girl who is sitting adjacent to him. It appears as if they are in a relationship, and then it goes. So like he in turn provides her with a pill, and then you could see the background music appealing in, and some sort of what you can say as some sort of you could see emotions. You could see her eyes wet, something like that. In the background, you are what you are able to see is the foreground. What I am able to see is also the background. You could see two couples conversing. So this also can give you a glimpse that this song is focused around partnerships, it's focused around relationships, and the complexities, the subtle subaltern complexities around which modern relationships revolve. So, pause to this scene.
Please.
Please, he says to the other person, and just giving her a pill. Now, we don't know. Now, at this time, anyone can be damn sure that this pill is an anti-pregnant. It's kind of a abortion pill. Like, it's a kind of an abortion pill, and this is like a pregnancy test which happens, and this is the result of that pregnancy test. So it's like a flashback. We'll come later on to that. A song which is going by very light beats. Song is great. See the background music, how it becomes very essential. Up till this time, around 30 seconds have passed, and we don't have any vocals coming around. But the background music, you could see it's very light. It's very, what you call this as, it's not fearsome, but it's perplexing. The tone, if you see, the intonation is very rhythmic and perplexing, and that what adds energy to the perplexion. Just had that pill, and now, at this point of time, the tear is going down her eye, and she's also drinking water. Now, my sole question which goes around this is that how, in any matter of existence, can a person who has loved someone, and I'm going by not the material conception or definition of love, but as far as my knowledge extends, I will not say knowledge, as far as my study extends, can in turn be harsh to a person that he could see his partner crying in front of him, tears trickling down the eye, and still he is forcing her to have the pill. So, and you could see this very scene that she is taking intake of water, and you could see tears trickling down her eye. This shows that she is being coerced. But what's not shown is why she has been coerced into this. What are the factors of coercion? There could be some sort of mental harassment. There could be some sort of arguments. But what I find deeply problematic is that an independent girl, a girl who is well educated, a girl who is well known of the contemporary realities, she is shown to be barely succumbing to the coercion, as being submissive. And this is what becomes problematic. You are sending a signal that, see, whatever happens, whether it be any times, whether it be traditional period, whether it be any wave, we have girls who are submissive, but it's not the reality today. Submissiveness over here is seen, And it's not that this submissiveness is being criticized in the later section of the song. In fact, this sorry, I'm just going around with my tongue, but this very attitude of succumbing to the external pressure is not even criticized, is not even given due weightage, is not even explained, but is providing some kind of flow to the story. Let's go ahead.
जिस चीज से दर्द मिले क्यों बार बार कर.
Now you see, now you could see that the other person is crying and you have forced the other person to take a pill due to the fact that you want to evade responsibility. It is not a matter of fact that not teenage pregnancies, but unwanted pregnancies or pregnancies which might occur in the altar of a sexual intercourse, or pregnancies which might occur due to unprotected sexual intercourse, or due to a variety of factors. It's not a point that such pregnancies have something to do with the moral bad or good of the society. It's about responsibility, because a newborn will enter the world. Who is going to take the responsibility? If you are someone who is evading his fundamental responsibility, as you could see in this video, this person is not able to fulfill his own responsibility of a true partner or a true person who could contribute into the relationship. So how could you expect this person to take up certain responsibility? Okay, that argument can build up certain things for those who appreciate this song, but what I find highly problematic is that how is it really possible that this person, you could see one person is crying, and if you see it's like shot from a side profile, and you could see tears in her eyes, she's smiling also, a deep perplexion, and he's saying to her that he loves her, he's proclaiming. But what sort of love is this? If you go to the Western countries, yes, there are a lot of incidents where pregnancy occurs, and in such instances itself, but that doesn't mean that evasion of responsibility is something. Then you are sending a message that if someone is pregnant due to a matter of fact that it didn't occur by choice, or it didn't occur at the right time. Now I don't know what's the right time. That right time can be highly subjective. For two couples who might be in a live-in relationship, they can have pregnancy and they might say, okay, it's the right time for us. For two consenting adults, they might have pregnancy and they say, yes, it's the right time for us. Legally, there might be a very different right time. So, going very subjectively, if it doesn't happen at the right time, then what's the share of responsibility? Isn't it a fact that the boy also has a very large part to play in the responsibility that has led to this traumatic series of incidents? Traumatic going by the storyline, not by me. So if the boy also has a considerable role as well as responsibility, why is he not shown that he is averting his responsibility? Why is the girl, in the very first sense, not being shown that he is averting the responsibility? Why is she not fundamentally asking the questions that if you love me, then please ask us that have you asked me? Is it a mutual decision, or is it a tacit consent that you have assumed by the virtue of your coercion? Let's go ahead.
जिस चीज से दर्द मिले क्यों बार बार करता है वही सजना थोड़ा ता ख्याल कर साडा दिल.
Now you could see the lyrics. जिस चीज से दर्द मिले क्यों बार बार वही करता है तू सजना. So what I feel about this song is that I think this song might have been created. I don't know about the origins of the song, and I have no job to do certainly with that. But I think that the vocals, the lyrics have been created, and then the storyline has been imposed. It's something that the storyline is not concurrent with the lyrics. They had to find something, they had to build a storyline because they have to release a music video. They say that an audio could not acquire that much clout We don't have reasonable period of time, so let's go to this EYP Productions. Let's have a script writer, let's have a production team who could give us a subtle video that brings us sufficient clout. And what can bring us sufficient clout? Sufficient clout can be brought us to conflicting arenas. Sufficient clout can be brought us to negative aspects. Sufficient clout can be brought us to capitalization on social ills. So let's
ਲੋਹੇ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਜਣਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਦਿਲ ਲੋਹੇ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਜਣਾ.
Just a minute before, she was crying, and you see how submissive is the character shown over here. She is not even able to say to the other person that please, this is a matter of fact that is of utmost intense importance, and I feel that the girl must say that this is a fact that requires your utmost attention and should be at the top of your priority list. Going very logically, this disturbance or this sort of nuance should be on the top of any priority list of any two people who are mutually into a relationship. But she is rather shown as submissive. She rests her head. It might be due to the fact that she might be anxious. But why isn't the other person anxious? He is talking onto the phone. A phone of an company is being shown over here. I won't go on to that. That's where the revenue comes in. And ultimately, if you are making music, you also need to produce revenue. That's why I won't criticize them on this part of the way, because I think that to sustain any art, you need to have certain business. Sponsorship can be a good avenue, but sponsoring moral ills of the society, is it that avenue? Is really that sustainable avenue? Is it symbiotic with the society? So, submissive girl, go ahead. Shift over, cut to, she's lying on the bed and she's crying. Now you see, many people will relate it to the fact that the person has sung it in a mode, in a way like आंसू मेरे बहते हैं ना, my tears are trickling down my eyes, that many people who are currently in a state like they might have been heartbroken, many people might feel loneliness, many people might not be able to have someone as their reliable partner, or many people might have compatibility issues with their relationship partners. So this song appeals to their core that you see every problem has an outcome, and that's sadness. Every problem has an outcome, that tears. Why is this relationship sort of presumptively established? And that is where I'm questioning it.
जब वो हमसे कहते हैं ना,
Okay, I think we just missed something.
आंसू मेरे बहते हैं ना,
What's there?
जब वो हमसे कहते हैं ना, दोस्त बन
Okay.
के रहे.
Okay. So, love you too, don't leave me ever. Nazar, I am pregnant. I missed my period and I did a pregnancy test. I think हमें बस दोस्त बन के रहना चाहिए. Okay. There is something above her text also. This was the most amazing thing that happened to me. Love you. Love you too. Don't leave me ever. Nazar, I am pregnant. I think हमें बस दोस्त बन के रहना चाहिए. Now, first of all, I would like to again emphasize on the fact that this song is building on a very, very, very destructive notion of friendship. Honestly speaking, very few Bollywood movies, very few cinematic art and culture has been able to realize what is true friendship. If we are able to realize the grounds of true friendship, then ultimately we will be able to create a better world. What is true friendship? Friendship is not a substitute for relationship. I have seen perfect, absolutely perfect relationships where people are good friends. A father can be a very good friend to a son. A mother can be a very good friend to his or her daughter, or ward, or anything you could say. Friendship is a thing. Friendship is universal. It can be subsumed to be a part of anything. Two people who enjoy a relationship they can also be very good friends. To be relationship partners and to be friends can happen simultaneously. This whole logic of friendship, this whole logic of I don't know situationship, this has in turn eroded the very fundamental concept of friendship, because we are not evolving or we are not revolving around the true definition of friendship, and that is where the problem sort of comes into play. Now see, again a submissive attitude being shown over here. She could have replied back, okay, we could just take benefit of doubt, cinematic liberty again, that she has smashed that phone in anger, fury. If I had been also there, I would also have been irritated and I would have smashed it. Okay. This is an imagery, like broken reality, like this scene especially. So you could see that in each and every bit of a scene, when you see a song, you could see imagery that people could relate it with. She is seeing a picture of herself and it's broken. It's a picture of a broken past. It's a picture of a broken relationship. It symbolizes broken faith. It symbolizes broken goals. It symbolizes broken mutual aims. It symbolizes broken dreams. So you need to critically analyze something. You cannot say that this stands in isolation. Everything is linked to the other thing. Shift, cut to another scene where they both are enjoying. Yeah, cut to this scene. So apparently again we are shown that they are two having each other, and apparently what happens to be the male partner, he gives the female partner over here a gift. Again a very problematic thing. Why is it that in all of the relationships the male partner ought to occupy the dominant position? It is not at all perfect to say that in any relationship one person has to occupy the dominant position, while someone will say that it links to the chromosomal or the evolutionary biology. Like, I've seen these stupid comments on my LinkedIn post, and that's why I'm coming to them. Like, one person will say that in chromosome, if you see chromosomal biology or chromosomal variation, if you go, there's a dominant trait and there's a recessive trait, and that's when things appear. But this is not the case with partnerships. This is not the case with relationships exclusively. Both can enjoy an equal status. And why is it that a certain person is shown in a dominant status? Right from the beginning, the boy is shown in the dominant status, and this in turn amplifies. Let's assume a boy who is a teenager is watching this video and he has not acquired sufficient knowledge. He will again go out and say that to be in a good relationship, to sustain a good relationship, it is very much necessary that I assume a dominant relationship, and that expression of dominant relationship is necessarily by gifting something to my partner, because I think that I assume the probable responsibility of being dominant, and thereby it is me who should in turn take the responsibility of just riding it through. But this is very problematic.
Dost Banke
Here a ring goes in. This is a very typical, you could say, I think, if to be very honest, if someone has to write something like you have to write a story about heartbreak, so you will obviously write a ring, then you could see a ring coming in, and then in the end that ring thrown away. That ring represents a symbol of love, a symbol of embodiment of love, a symbol of union, but then that union breaks away. So is that love happens via material things? Is it so that love needs a ring to be put in your index finger? Again, I will not go into index finger is close to the heart and all that things. You could obviously provide fallacious arguments to just spit off the topic from the line away. But again, going to the plot, an index finger, a ring coming onto an index finger, is it symbolic of love, or is this something that your relationship partner is helping you? You are helping your relationship partner. You both are striving your goals. You are both are trying to understand your strength and weakness, and it's not problematic to have people of two very different opinions, of two very different ideologies, of two very different thought processes to be together. They might have different set of strength and weaknesses. They might have different set of what they like, what they don't like, and it is not at all problematic. But due to certain structures, due to certain societal building, due to certain norms, that in turn will dismantle the power structures. And when power structures are dismantled, remember, the conservative forces will always have undesirable loss in their current stance of power. And that is what I am just about to say. Thereby, they don't want the power structure to sustain and to desustain, and to help sustain this power structure, art, entertainment can be a very, very subtle weapon. You are not realizing it, but you are filling your subconscious mind with trash. Absolute trash. Realizes that whatever has happened, it was some sort of cheating on her part. Whatever has happened was not morally legitimate. To be very crude, it on her part, it's not morally legitimate. This is what she is assuming. But in no point of time is the boy being shown over here to have been taken any part of moral legitimacy. If in the end, any person who has to see this video, if a boy is seeing this video, if a teenager among whom these videos are very prevalent is to see this video, you will realize that it's all because of the girl. And the girl is crying because it's all because of her. She could have been more responsible. But who will in turn tell them that this was a mutual act? Who will tell them that the boy has a far greater share of responsibility and he is averting his moral legitimacy? Who is going to tell them? Not Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, not Gur Nazar. Who is going to tell them?
बुरे वादों को अंजाम नहीं देता रिश्ता तो.
This person is with another girl and they both are sitting in a car, a luxurious car, because as I have already told you, the boy will always be shown in a dominant light, because this is how the societal construct has been built around, that the boy ought to be seen and shown in a dominant light. Otherwise, the relationship, the stability, the so-called stability of the relationships, the imagined stability of the relationship could not sustain. It's the boy which is always in a dominant and equally contradicting and ironically recessive position when it comes to responsibility.
रखता है परिणाम नहीं देता.
Okay, now she gets to know where the boy is, the location.
अधूरे वादों को अंजाम नहीं देता.
A sexual encounter with another girl.
रिश्ता तो रखता है परिणाम नहीं देता. पिंजरे में बंद पंछी की तरह.
Okay, she arrives where the car is. Okay, there's a dearth of logic, I know that, but let's assume she arrives where the car is. A very lavish car, and you see the girl arriving on a scooty, an Activa, and a car over here, a very lavish car. You could see these are a symbolism which are being prevalently discussed through in this very outset of this very music video. You could see that the dominant and recessive positions have constantly been emphasized. Girl realizes that this person in turn has no moral turpitude. The girl realizes that this person is not morally legitimate. The girl realizes that the person to whom she attributed her time, to whom she attributed precious moments, to whom she attributed faith, to whom she attributed some kind of intimacy as well as, he was not suitable for that attribution. So, certainly, by going by the human psychology, you will certainly have a shock, an emotional shock, and be set aback.
ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੋਰੇ ਤੱਕੇ ਚਿਹਰੇ ਕਈ ਸਜਣਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਬਿਨ ਕੋਈ ਤੱਕੇਰਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੋਰੇ ਤੱਕੇ ਚਿਹਰੇ ਕਈ ਸਜਣਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਤਾਂ ਖਿਆਲ ਕਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਦਿਲ ਲੋਹੇ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਜਣਾ
Okay, थोड़ा तो ख्याल कर साडा दिल लोहे दाता नहीं सजना. Why is it that we need to tell the other person that you need to take care, that our heart is not of iron? Why is it that? Or are we assuming that the other person on the corner or the other person next to us is having a heart, is basically emotionless? A man is emotionless, illegitimate, whereas a girl is full of emotions, but on the same part, that emotions doesn't let her to a tapestry of bravitude or valiant attitude. That becomes highly contradictory and again pushing the very misogynist notions.
ਸਾਡਾ ਦਿਲ ਲੋਹੇ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਜਣਾ
That please remember, don't do this as I am very emotional and I don't have a heart of iron, which says that I don't have a strong heart, I don't have the valor to typically bear these situations. But who will tell the other person that this is not a matter of even emotional constraint, this is a matter of crime, this is a matter of moral illegitimacy, and this has more to do with the brain than to the heart. And typically when someone, there's a very famous saying, if you want to let someone's brain go dormant, attack their heart. That's why you see in most of these love, you see a heart coming into the story. But even if you use bit 1% of your brain, you will realize things splitting out. She just catches him red-handed. Frustrated. It's a BMW, Audi, Activa. You could see this is what is cinematography. The Activa scooty could have been very comfortably left out of the screen, but you see the side frame of the Activa scooty is very necessary to demonstrate that the girl is in a very light position, the girl is in a recessive state, the girl is not dominant, the boy is dominant, thereby the boy has got the power to do anything and he will sustain through anything. He says that, are you mad? You have invaded my personal sphere, things like that. The girl is standing still. She is not able to realize what has happened in the due course of time. She is still not able to sustain the impact. Sometimes it takes us certain duration of time to sustain the impact of any event. Even in the case of very excitement, it takes us some time to sustain that adrenaline. It takes our brain to sustain time to realize that what we have seen is a matter of fact. Is it reality? Because we have been living in a virtual world, and then when deconstruction happens, not gradually but in a blink of an eye, it in turn confuses the brain, and this leads us to a moment where we are standstill. And this is what it is. I think video has been paused due to some problem. Okay. बहते हैं ना आंसू मेरे बहते हैं ना. Why is it मेरे? Why is it not that why is it that tears cannot symbolize tears of realization? These tears are rather of frustration. These tears are rather of deep remorse and regret. but that remorse and regret is not shared by the other partner. I got a post on my LinkedIn that this song is showing the reality, and whatever you are doing, actually, this song exposes the true reality. But what is the empirical evidence to say so? Okay, there might be boys who might be in a dominant state, who might be in a dominant position, and they might have done the ill and I will say very sick things to a girl, and might not have shared the moral legitimacy, but at the end of the day, the girl, in situations, there are many apt cases where the girl is able to sustain herself, and it's the girl who shows the potential that she will fight against such inequalities. It's the girl who shows that yes, I will show up to the courage. I am not someone who will say to the other person कि थोड़ा तो ख्याल रख, मेरा दिल लोहे का है. I will say to the other person, तू अपना ख्याल रख, because you see कि मैं वैलेंट हूँ, मेरे अंदर करेज है, मैं डिसीटफुल एटीट्यूड नहीं कैरी करती हूँ, and that is what is the concept of assertiveness. So I think this is the first part of the breakdown. We'll do the second part of the breakdown in the next video, but this time I want you to ponder around the dominant recessive concept. I want you to ponder around that why is it that the girl is often seen or shed into this sympathetic light, or in the wake of sympathetic light. Is it to barely acquire views, or in order to rear the very patriarchal and misogynist notions? You could write to me. I will attach my email in case of any discrepancies, and I'm always available on my mail, and within a week we will come out with the next video, probably in 2 to 3 days or even tomorrow. So we'll go out, we'll roam around, and please remember, artists, understand the symbolic relevance when you see a music. Don't take the content in the raw form. Please process it. Please, whether your heart is broken, anything is broken, brain can't get broken until unless you are on drugs or something like that. But brain, please let your brain analyze things. Please delve into analytical thinking. Please don't subscribe to misogynist, patriarchal and so-called normalization. This song is normalizing something that is very problematic, and that's why I have problem with this song. We'll cover the normalizing aspect as well as, I think we are left with just 2 minutes of the footage. We'll go around. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.